haven't been saying anything. That's the situation. Hello? No sound, you say. Okay, can you hear me now? How about now? Oh, we almost got all the bugs worked out. No. No audio. Well, that's annoying. How about now? Any audio now? Do you have it turned up? There you are. Ah. Okay. Is it too loud? Too soft? You did hear me? Now what? Okay. Whoa, too loud? What? Well, what? You're gonna have to help me out. Yes, okay. How about that? Is that any better? Yeah. Okay. It's good, so that's better. Okay. Yeah, that's like... I'm trying to figure out... So right now, I think the audio is getting picked up through my laptop. And I wanted to use the microphone through the Voice Live Play, but for some reason, it's not doing that. Steph, type something in the chat on YouTube and see if that shows up for me. Because I'm trying to do this through OBS. I set up a few different things. So I'm kind of just learning. Tonight's another learning stream. But I figured I could decal this truck while I'm figuring things out. Apparently you can see the chat window in the same, like you can, there's a chat window from YouTube. It's like synced up. What car today? Okay, cool. So that does work. Alright, good. Actually, it's not a car. If you saw the thumbnail, you would have seen that it's a truck. But good, so I know the chat feature works. Good. Is it laggy at all? Or has the... You can just text me. Is it laggy or is it better? Because I think the last time we tried this, it was pretty laggy. I didn't like that. It says my connection is excellent, so... You are an idiot. Why are you an idiot? I'm gonna also text Zach and see if he hops on. And he was gonna help me out with it. Doo-doo-doo. Alright, so here we go. This is a really weird thing, because I'm essentially talking to nobody. Streaming's a strange thing. Dad wants to know if you have the microphone plugged into the USB. Yeah, of course I do. And it won't show up on my device for some reason. So it might be something we have to look at later. Right now I'm just going through my laptop, the default microphone, which I think it's pretty good. Yeah. Zach said I have nice hands. Well, thank you, Zach. Welcome to the stream. See, I don't really understand this because it says concurrent viewers is 2. And Zach said he's watching it and Steffi, or concurrent viewers is 1. Oh, now it says 2. Don't give me a whole long explanation of you might need to download a driver for it. Yeah. No, I shouldn't have to. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't have to because when I connect it to my other laptop, it automatically connects to it. And it said in my devices that it was connected. So, who knows? This is only the second stream, so we'll figure it out later. I don't really have a need for it. Zach is in the chat. Hola. Wow, Steph, you spelled his name wrong? Dude, oh, that's embarrassing. How long have you known him? Like, pretty much your whole life. Wow. That is embarrassing. Whew. Man. Well, anyway. Glad you two could join. I gotta also figure out the music thing. Because I was playing music through my laptop, but it was also picking up through the microphone. So I'm not really sure. There's an audio mixer in OBS that allows you to select multiple different audio sources. And so I was looking at that, and there's a computer audio setting, but the microphone was also picking that up. So I'm not really sure what to do about that, but I guess I'll figure it out later. Trust me, this was a pretty big step just getting all this stuff together. So anyway, you don't have to keep watching. I just wanted to know if the audio was good and what you guys thought. And if the stream's laggy. I don't even know if you guys are still here. Neither of you have said anything in a while. It says 2 viewers, but who the heck knows? Also, on an unrelated topic, kind of related, normally I like to have all the decals cut out beforehand and then apply them. But I didn't have time to do that, so here we are, cutting out decals. It's a long, boring process. The fun part is putting them on the car or the truck. Cutting them out is annoying. It looks pretty good though compared to when I was streaming it last time just through my phone. Now it's coming through OBS and it looks like it's real time this time. And it doesn't look too laggy. Also, how did you know if it lags? Because I don't see your mouth talking. It is now lagging on mine. Well, I guess you wouldn't know if it lags, but if... Well, no, lagging in the sense that, like, my hand, it would be like instead of a smooth motion. I guess my question is the stream pretty smooth? It's not jittery or jumpy. I need some music to go here, but I don't know if the microphone will pick it up. That's the other problem. It's smooth. Alright. Well, I see Dad took Steph's phone. So that's good. Do you like how I put the logo down here on the side of the screen? This OBS thing's pretty cool because you can do overlays and all that kind of stuff. So I might have to design like a border or something to go around, you know, around the outside or something. Oh man, down to one viewer. One concurrent viewer. It's just you and me. Me and you, the both of us together. It's also 9 o'clock on a Friday night, so everybody's probably out partying, you know? This is what happens when you get old and have hobbies. You just stream your hobbies. You don't go out anymore. Alright, now here. If I do this, Mike Waz, get it? How loud is that? Can you hear that pretty loud? Is that too loud? Oh yeah, going to the... Oh, I forgot. Is that where you... Are all four of you guys together? That's funny. Yeah, I guess you guys are getting old too if that's what you're doing. Can you hear the background music playing? No, too loud. That's what I thought. Yeah, true. True, it is that. Alright, how about that? Is that better? Like, I could barely even hear it. Just 3. Well, what's he doing tonight? Uh-oh. That's a big lag. I wonder why I did that. Oh. I wonder why I did that. He was supposed to go work. Ooh, work. Gross. Who likes working? Alright. Well, that's fun. Let's go, Brandon. I don't even know why I'm cutting this part out. I don't think I'm going to use it. I might, actually. You know what? I probably will. This stupid fuel inlets, I always have to paint the color on them, and it never matches, so I made a decal. Also, like, the inlets are very deep on the other diecast. Like, if you look at this, it's kind of hard to tell from the camera. But if you were, you can kind of tell from there. See how deep that fuel inlet is? It's hard to put a decal in there because it folds over on itself and doesn't sit right. So what I normally do is end up painting it as close of a green as I can get, and my colorblind eyes are, who knows what color I'm painting. Not me. So Zach, I don't know if you're still even here, but anyway, the whole reason I'm doing this is because I figured it would be easier to go live when I'm decaling these cars and have YouTube basically store the video on their servers rather than me have to store the videos locally. Because it takes me like an hour or so to decal these. It's got depth to it. Yeah, it does. So it takes me a long time to decal, and I kind of want to film the process. Not that I think I would make it into a video, but Zach is here. Well, hi, Zach. Is Emily with you, or is she working? Not that I think a lot of people would really tune in to watch this, but if somebody does, it's a way to kind of show them a behind the scenes what I do and why it takes so long to make these things. I made this Craftsman like obnoxiously large on purpose because that's how they are. That doesn't look too bad, actually. I didn't know if it was gonna fit. I'll do that one sometime later because it's part of the windshield, and so I'll just do the windshield later. Whoa, jumped up to, she is disabled. Yeah, I know, she hurt herself at work, but I didn't know if we have captive audience where you just sit her on the couch and say, here, watch this. Speaking of watching, did you watch the U.S. hockey game last night against Canada? That was pretty disappointing. Not that I really care too much or watch hockey a lot, but I figured I'd watch it since it was U.S. versus Canada. It was a fun game. Ultimately, they lost, but it was still pretty fun. The atmosphere was great. So, yeah. Normally this would be more exciting of actually putting the decals on trucks or the cars, but I forgot to cut all these out, so it's kind of boring. I get it. Also, the whole decal thing is kind of crazy because ultimately what you're paying for is just the ink. You're not even, like, I guess you're paying for the paper, sure, but you just throw all the paper away. Like, you just end up with a big scrap pile of paper. And then, on top of that, the decals, once you put them in the water and the ink comes off the top, you throw the back of the paper away. So you're literally just paying for the ink, which is a wild concept, but it works. And it looks good. So yeah, this truck, I don't know, about an hour, it'll look totally different. Like this car. I finished this car from the other night. It's 28. Turned out pretty good. I like it. I made these decals, kind of. So, yeah. It's a fun hobby. I like it. Zach, I'll sell my hobby to you if you want. I will give you all the materials. You and Emily can open up a business. I'll even sell my name, Diecast Driven. You can have it. And I can retire. Just kidding. It's not worth that much. Also, on a side note, you know how much work it is? Like, this chat is not doing much. There's 2 people in it, and you're not even really typing. But I can't imagine. I sort of understand now how other streamers completely miss things in their chats. Because, I mean, it takes a little bit of work to look over to the side, but also you have to remember that I have 3 people watching. Big numbers here. Like, some people, like Cody gets 300. Moobs gets like 300, 400, 500, you know, on any given day. And then Jeremy's streaming with like 3,000 people. That's crazy. It's hard to keep up with the chat just as a watcher. So the people that are really committed to the chats in live streams, like, props to them. And also, I guess props to the streamers for engaging with the chats in a decent amount. But yeah, it seems like it would be a lot to keep up with. Especially if you've got topics to talk about and stuff like that. I will say, it is very weird to solo live stream. Because I'm sitting in my basement, doing what I normally do, just decaling cars. But now I'm talking. And I'm talking to no one. I'm talking to this brick wall that's in front of me. It's a very strange concept. I mean, you guys are kind of here, but you're not really interacting with me a ton. So it's kind of it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. Well, well, thanks. Next time you come over, we'll go live, and then you can talk to me while we'll do like a collaboration. Except you got to make a channel too, so you can go live. Zach, I'm telling you, you got to make a Lego channel. People love Legos. I'm telling you, people will watch a lot of. You will get. I guarantee this. I guarantee you will get a lot more people that watch your Lego, even if you just stream or make videos. You'll get more people to watch those in like a week than I've gotten to watch. Do you want that? Do I want what? You to come over and stream with me? Or you to start a Lego channel? Because I know it's an expensive hobby, but, well, this is an expensive hobby. You've seen my walls. You know how much money I have in all these cars. But, like, the Lego thing, if you get your channel to 500 subscribers and a certain amount of watch hours, you get monetized, and you just start making money on the videos and the streams if you do all that. Yeah, I mean, it'll take some time, but I guarantee you will surpass me in subscribers very quickly. Guarantee it. People love Legos. What I do, this is a very, like, niche thing. Also, can you hear the furnace in the background? I might have to close that door. But the fun's about to begin. I only have this many more to cut out. Lego party? No, Zach's making a Lego channel. He's getting on this. He's gonna make some extra. You should host one. No, I have this. I have too many other hobbies. I can't do Lego hobby. That's gonna be Zach's, what he's gonna do. And he's gonna blow past me in subscribers. Because honestly, this whole streaming thing, this whole setup, this is not hard. I'll be honest. Jeremy always says it when he streams. He's like, streaming is like the easiest thing you could ever do. Honestly, he's got a point. Like, it's really not difficult. A Lego competition? Maybe. I'll be over tomorrow, but I don't think you're going to be there tomorrow. See, Steph can do crafting. Yeah, you could do crafting. You could do, like, how-tos. A lot of people do how-tos, though. Whoa, that's a lot of people. Yeah, we could do that. So, if you want to talk about this car, or this truck in particular, it's for Jason Alexander. I want to say he's still in college or something, because I think he, like, posts pictures or something that he plays lacrosse or baseball or something. Not really sure. But he did a couple races last year for Fast Track Racing, which is what the same team Cody raced on. And yes, Steph, it's called Fast Track. Whoa, Emily's in the party. What's up? Hope your shoulder's doing okay. I think it was your shoulder. Maybe it was your wrist. Your arm. I'm fairly certain it was your arm. But anyway, yeah, so Jason raced a couple times for Fast Track Racing. And he also raced a one-off for... I don't even know what the team... What is this Truck Series team? I don't even know. Whatever, he raced a one-off race at Milwaukee last year for this truck team and got a start. And when I was in Michigan with Cody, it's still attached. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that it's still attached. Good. Is that? We shouldn't talk about domestic abuse, but is that the one you whack Zach with when he gets out of line, or is it your other arm? But anyway, so Jason, we were in the hauler talking about the cars that I made. Aw, Steph has to go. Boo. That's okay. Well, thanks for joining. I'll be on for a while, so if you feel the need to hop back on later, I probably will be here. But anyway, yeah, so I made Cody a couple cars, his Cyber Frog car and then the Timcast car, and I took them to him in Michigan, and Jason, well, everybody in the hauler was like drooling over the cars, because typically ARCA drivers don't have their diecast made, and I get it from Lionel's standpoint. It's not going to be a profitable thing for them necessarily, so I sort of understand it. And given the opportunity, I mean, apparently a lot of them like to have their customs made, which is what I do, because, you know, Lionel's minimum order for a car is 500. Now, when they get, there's a little bit of a thing, like, sometimes they don't get the rights to produce a car. One example that comes to mind is Carl Edwards' Minion car from, like, 2016, I want to say. But, yeah, so if Lionel doesn't get the rights, they won't produce it, or if Lionel just doesn't think that it would be profitable, they won't produce it. And for most of the ARCA drivers, like, they're not going to sell 500 of whatever car it is. It's just, maybe the only one that they could do right now would be Cletus McFarlane or Garrett Mitchell, or Mitchell Garrett, I don't remember what his actual name is, but they could probably get away with making one of his cars, and people would buy it just because of his large social media following. But, like, even somebody like Cody, he reached out and, like, he just didn't think it was possible or feasible or profitable. And also, like, Cody wouldn't get any money. The drivers, I don't think, get any money from having their cars made. It's all, like, Lionel. So he reached out, or he saw me in the hauler with Cody's cars, and he's like, "Hey, could you make me some?" And I'm like, "Sure, yeah, I can make you whatever you want. You just got to send me the files." So he'll send me the artwork files, and then I can take it and basically turn it into a decal file. And then I didn't hear from him for months. And then just out of the blue, he reached out to me one day. He's like, "Hey, do you remember me? We met at Michigan, and I asked you to make some cars for me." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I want a lot of cars." So we're starting with like one of each or a couple of each. The problem is it takes a long time. We just had a baby. It's like the winter time is the absolute worst time to work on cars because you have to heat the barn to paint and do all that stuff. So progress has been slow lately, but we're finally making some good progress, and I have now received a set of each of his cars for the decals that I designed to work on. So here we are, finally getting to him. When did he ask me? Michigan, I think, was in August. So August till now is, I don't even know, was August 8. It's like 6 months plus later ish, but better late than never, I guess. Also weird though, he didn't text me back the other day. I told him I finally got all of his decals and I started working on these things, but he never responded, so that's kind of weird. Maybe I'll reach back out to him. For the two people that are still here, I'm guessing it's probably just Zach and Emily. Is the audio okay? Should send one to Frankie. Yeah, that was another one. So Frankie, I don't know if Lionel couldn't produce it, or they didn't, or if they weren't given the licensing rights, or what. But I had the chance to meet Frankie. I almost did. I saw him walk by. He was like 10 feet away from me. I'm not really like a starstruck person, but apparently he's really cool, and it's something I'm considering doing. The only problem is I have a bunch of other cars to make, so I'm trying to get through these as quickly as I can. I'm gonna have to like not take orders, I guess, for a little bit, but yeah. Oh, good. See, Emily, I'm still learning this whole setup. This is only the second time I've streamed, and I actually downloaded a streaming software that I can stream through my phone. So this is my phone camera, and then I'm trying to figure out if the audio is good. I have a microphone here, but this wasn't working for some reason. So the audio is going through, or the microphone's picking up through the laptop's microphone, and I guess that's okay for now. I would like to use the actual microphone because I feel like, is the audio crisp? Does it sound good, or is it just, does it sound like spacious? I guess is what I'm wondering. Not that we really have a lot of people watching anyway, that it would matter. But again, I'm just using these kind of as like an archive, so to speak. Alright, Zach, so did you watch Malcolm in the Middle? Or do you know Frankie from like Agent Cody Banks and Big Fat Liar? Because I never watched Malcolm in the Middle. I'm not familiar with that show. Crisp, but there's a buzzing. A buzzing. I wonder what that could be. Yep, see, these are why we do these test streams. Like, is it annoying buzzing? Like the audio, like it's distracting buzzing, or is it just kind of low? It honestly might be the fan of the laptop. Big Fat Liar and Agent Cody Banks. Yeah, see, Zach, that's what I know him from, too. I never watched him in Malcolm in the Middle, so... Yep. Big Fat Liar. It's a funny movie. I would say one of my favorites, but there's so many movies that are like one of my favorites. A lot of movies are one of my favorites. Also, what's kind of funny is Emily's typing in the chat, and then Zach, you're texting me, and then Steph was texting me earlier. I think it's just kind of funny. When I tried this the other day, I got up to 6 people watching at one point, and they were typing in the chat and stuff, which is pretty cool. It's just a test stream, just kind of what this is, trying to figure out what we're doing here. But so far, I think it's pretty good. Darby doesn't even watch my streams. I don't even think she watched a video from today. Actually, I don't think I could say that on YouTube, otherwise my channel will get struck or banned or something. I'm not sure how that all works. I'm going to try to avoid gamer words, as it's known in the industry. Okay, here's where the fun begins, as my good friend Anakin Skywalker once said. I love those movies. Malcolm in the Middle is a great show. He actually had multiple strokes. Wait, Frankie Muniz had, like, strokes like a brain thing, right? I'm not too familiar with the medical field, but isn't that a brain thing? That's crazy. Forgot what he used to be in. Wow. And now he's driving a race car. So that's pretty good recovery. Alright. Who's ready? Who is ready? Tweezers out. All important. Wow. Well, I didn't know that about him, but I'm glad he's doing well and able to race. So that's an unfortunate situation. So in case you're wondering, and I can do this, actually, watch this. Pepper is actually watching. Who is Pepper? Should I know who is Pepper? A cat? Watch this. I can do I could take this image, boom, put this image in the stream. So that's what I'm building. Can you see that? Cat. Good. Cat. Cats are alright. Not my favorite. Going to make popcorn and enjoy. Alright. So we're going to turn this truck here into this truck. Can you see this picture? And I'm assuming you can see this logo that I added down here. Alright, we'll start with the decal. That's probably going to give me the biggest headache and potentially ruin my night. We'll see. Yeah, you can see that? Okay, cool. So that gives you an idea of what we're aiming for. So we're going to turn this into that. And like for tonight's purposes, we're just going to add all these decals. I'll probably add these spoiler ones. I'm not sure. Yeah, I probably could. The problem with adding these is you gotta trim them, and I like to hold it close to me and then hit it with the heat gun to get them to kind of curl around, and so that's kind of annoying. And then this splitter needs to get painted black. I was gonna try and make a decal for it, but the way that the body contour is, I would rather just paint it. Painting it's easier than doing a decal. So this stuff, solve a set, some decal setting solution. It's very nice, very helpful. Softens up the decals. Suggestion. What is this? Open Studio. YouTube Creator Studio. Whoa. Yeah, I'm not doing all that. Forget that. That's too complicated. Okay. But I've already been live for 45 minutes. I've been live for 45 minutes and got nothing accomplished. Just cutting out these decals. Shows you kind of how, like, psychopathic this whole thing is. So we can put these away. Also, I'm having to get used to decaling towards the camera instead of towards myself, which is kind of a weird culture shift. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I gotta do this a bunch of times. Now it's not quite right. I gotta add some of this to it. Soften it up. Because there's some crevices that this decal has to settle into. That looks really good, actually. I was a little nervous on how this was going to turn out because the file that I got for the trucks... Actually, no. Did I... I think I made this whole set, actually. And I had to get the headlight and taillight files from a guy on a modding website for like iRacing and stuff. So I think it turned out pretty good, but I guess we'll see once all the decaling is done how good it actually looks. Looks pretty centered up, actually. So, oh yeah, and that's another thing too, is when I'm done with a utensil, whether it's a brush or a knife or the tweezers, I have a tendency to put it between my teeth because I will undoubtedly use it again. And I have to get out of that habit, because if I'm going to have adoring fans that are just kidding. If I'm going to have people that are going to want to talk to me or have, you know, me comment on something, I can't be talking through a razor blade or a paintbrush. So yeah, getting back to what I said earlier, like, this was the backing that came off the decal. It's junk. It's just paper. Now it's wet paper. So you just throw that away. So you're literally paying for ink. You're paying for ink, what the decal is, and that's it. It totally transforms the vehicle, obviously. I mean, it looks better already. So yeah, I was real nervous how that one was going to turn out, but that looks great. It's kind of... It worked its way into the contours of the nose really nicely. And I think it matches the truck pretty close. I mean, we could put it up next to it. It's pretty close. So yeah, this is fun. I don't know, fun for me. I don't know if it's fun for you guys to watch, but I don't know. Well, Dad, obviously, you know, but I don't know, Zach or Emily, if you've been to Disney Springs, where they have on the far side, kind of by Rainforest Cafe, they have like the Art of Disney, I think is the name of the store, and they have the artists that are in there working on stuff live, and people could just like wander by and watch them I'm happy you're doing this because I've never seen this done before. Yeah, see, and that's kind of why. That's also why I wanted to start this, because like a lot of people ask what I do. What do I do as a hobby? Like, you make these die-cast cars, but what do you do? So this is a little look into how insane I am and how long the process takes. But yeah. Okay, never got to. Alright, so first of all, Disney Springs is probably my favorite part of Disney now, just because it's like free and it has a lot of restaurants and stuff. But there's a store over by Rainforest Cafe and by the Goofy's Candy Company that is like the art of Disney. And it's a store of like all the artwork, paintings, drawings. They have other things. But sometimes there will be an artist there that's drawing on a board, and they have a camera basically like this. So like there's a TV on the other side, like over there, and then the artist is up against a wall, kind of like I am, and they're just drawing. They're sketching. I don't know if I've ever seen one painting, but you get to like, it's a live look at what they're doing. And I don't really know if they interact. I've never been there when they've interacted with people before, but I'm sure they might. And it's just a really cool look into a different world, because like most people aren't artists, they're not drawing, and so you can see every pen stroke and how they. It's really cool. It's like this, you start with nothing, a white canvas, and then you turn it into something, by the end of it. So yeah, it's something that's relatively creative, and I don't know. This is something similar, at least, but it's a little different, obviously, So yeah, it's hard to tell who's. See, because the other interesting thing about this is I can't tell who's watching, just that 3 people are watching. So I know Emily's one, Dad's probably the other, and maybe Zach's the third, or maybe Darby hopped on or something. I don't know. But unless you guys comment in the chat, I can't tell who you are. Are there any topics that you guys want to discuss while I'm doing this? Normally what I'll do is just listen to music or watch videos and stuff. So you guys can dictate whatever you want to discuss. I'm open to suggestions. Emily, you got to get on Zach for making that Lego channel. I'll show you how to do it. It's not hard. He's got a phone. I mean, you've got a phone. You just start uploading videos. It's not a difficult thing. I just can't believe I'm so late to this YouTube world. Oh, sometimes get out my little. Actually, this tool was for my model railroad table, which one of these days I'll get back to working on that thing. Who the heck knows when that's going to be. But this was for creating lines in rock formations. He's still not made the office Lego set I bought. Dude, what is he waiting for? Tell him to get going. If he doesn't, I'll come over and build it. I could have that thing together in like a half hour. I'm a Lego. And didn't even. Well, you guys spoke about it. I told him. I said, Zach, you got to do that. So I'm telling you, people love Legos. You will get a lot of views and a lot of subscribers on a Lego channel. It just is what it is. He still has that. Yeah, I know. He's got to get on that. Also, the background music that you hear is Illuminations from Epcot. I don't know if you're familiar. You can come over. Oh yeah, that was another thing we were going to talk about, is coming over and bringing Lila. Yeah, we got to do that sometime. Darby said maybe next week we could come over and bring some pizza or something and hang out with the baby. She's getting big. She's already over a month old. It's crazy. Can't even believe it. Now here's a good question. Can you guys hear the train rolling through? Oh no. Oh yeah, and then if you mess up a decal, you just add a little bit of water back onto it, and then you can just rework it back into position. Now there's a limited amount of time. Like, since I'm working on it now, I can add the water to it and move it back into a position that it's supposed to be in. But like, if I wanted to do that tomorrow or, you know, later this week after the adhesive has had time to set in, it's a little bit harder to pull a decal back up after that. But I mean, it's looking pretty good. The train is loud, but not that bad, honestly. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't love having the train right next to the house, but it's alright. So now this little number here, get that, get these contingency decals. Wow, who did that? I did that. Oh well. So let's see. Train is left. Bam! Look at how big that is. Can make that huge. Take up the whole screen. That's funny. This is a fun thing. Music is awesome. I love that. Epcot. Yeah, they really did a number on Epcot and Hollywood Studios. I mean, I'm like an OG Disney fan. That's not true. I wasn't born in 1955. I'm like a early 2000s, late 90s Disney fan, and they took a lot of stuff out of there and they changed a lot. So I don't really think I'll ever go back to the parks. I don't really plan on doing so. If anything, I do, and what I like to do is resort hop, where you ride the monorail, you ride the Skyliner, you go to the different resorts. It doesn't cost you anything. You go to Disney Springs. So you still kind of get that Disney feel. You get that I don't know what you'd call it, like that escapism a little bit that you used to feel at Disney. But you don't have to pay for it. And I, like, if I'm not, that's fine. I mean, obviously you have to pay for a flight down there. 2014. Oh, yeah. Oh, a lot has changed since 2014. Yeah. Yeah, I wish you the best. Oh, it's a heck of a lot different since then. I mean, if you start naming things that you liked back then in 2014, I'll probably tell you it's either changed or gone. Yeah, a lot has changed. A lot since 2014. Like this show, this Illuminations that we're watching, that's gone. They don't even have that anymore, the fireworks show at Epcot. So that's unfortunate. 21. Looks like that. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning more towards Universal. I think they care more a little bit about their people and kind of what the people's opinions are. Whenever you're not busy, you need to yeah, the Wonder Bread car with the the Fig Newtons decal on the windshield. I am actually pretty excited to make that car. I always wanted that one. They did actually produce the diecast of those, but never with Fig Newtons on the hood or on the windshield. So the decals are available for that. So yes, I will be making that car for you at some point. The only problem is I have like 100 other cars to make before then. So I will get to it, I promise. You already have the me car, I think, with the Cougar on the front. But I promise you I will get the rest of them made for you at some point. So let's see. Normally I have reference pictures pulled up to make sure I'm putting the decals in the exact same spot, but right now I'm using my laptop to do the streaming, so this is a little different setup than what I'm used to. But I think it's working out pretty good. I mean, personally, I enjoy interacting with the chat, even though it's just Emily. But I would like to think we're having productive conversation. I don't know what Darby's doing. She put Lila to sleep, and then she's been upstairs ever since. So, yep. I was very excited to make this car, or this truck. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but I forgot to cut out the little clear piece between the Sunoco and the other two decals. So I'll have to get the razor blade out, the X-Acto knife. Try not to pull that decal too much. And try not to cut the other decals. Oh, is my head in that thing? Yeah, see, that's one thing I'm going to have to get better at, is not putting my head in the frame. Yeah, you can't even see that, but that little clear piece, oh, you can kind of see it. That little clear piece would be a nightmare to fit around this little light opening here. So remove that, get that out of the way, add a little softener to it, pop that right on there, and the nose is pretty much done. You see, it's a time-consuming process, but it's a fun one. I enjoy it. It's one of those start-to-finish things, like a before and after. But I figured I would do these live instead of making them into videos, because it's just too much. It's a lot of editing. Like I said, I've been live for over an hour now. Granted, if this was a normal circumstance, I would have already had everything cut out before going live, but it's not, so here we are. But yeah, I mean, it's just a long process, and it's a lot of video data. It's a big file. I tried filming myself decaling this one, and it was like, it's over an hour, so it's like 500 megabytes of data, and I couldn't download it onto my computer off of my phone. That's how big it was. So I got the bright idea to just stream these, and I can interact with people if they so choose to join, like you guys, the three of you, whoever you are, Emily, Zach, and Dad maybe, who have joined tonight to watch me decal this truck. And I got plenty more to do, so, and I figured I'm going to be doing this anyway, so why not? What I should go get some water, though, because I am thirsty. I've just been talking this whole time. Not really saying much, but saying a lot. I should put that on a t-shirt. I haven't said much, but I've said a lot. Nothing of substance, but a lot of words. Okay. Should do the hood. The hood. It's a little cowl decal. Hood sponsor. We could put this roof decal on too. Tell you what, I'm loving the way this car's turning out. Truck. The way this truck's turning out. And it's already 10 o'clock. Who knows how much longer I'll be live until this gets done. That way I have a video archive of me doing it. Streaming's unbelievably easy though. I'm telling you, Emily, you and Zach could stream building Legos. And you could talk about it, you could rate the set, you could how much you like it, how much you dislike it, how easy it was to put together, how confusing the instructions were. I'm telling you, you guys could do it. You could do it. People would watch. If you have a phone, you can stream. There's a lot I have to learn, but so far this is going pretty well. Ah, see, messed that one up. It was good. I should have just left it alone. Should have just left it alone. Doom, 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 doom. I think, in my opinion, this was their best fireworks show. Wishes was good. Happily Ever After is pretty good. But nothing beats Illuminations. I don't know. To me, Illuminations is just the best. Oh yeah. I just gotta make sure. Yeah, that's what I figured. So we'll add a little bit of this. Soften her up. See these ridges. I don't know how well you can see the ridges. Oh yeah, you can see them. These ridges in the hood are going to be hard to get the decal to kind of set down into. So you add a little bit of softener before underneath the decal. To once it's on there, it'll soften it right up, help it form into those ridges. Because you do not want air bubbles underneath your decals. You do not want that. It will look bad, and when you put the clear on, it will be bad for you. Be a bad situation. Lionel had a really bad problem like in 2020 with their clear and air lifting up their decals and getting underneath them, and a lot of good die casts were ruined. Now there's kind of a way that you can get around it. You know, me being a builder as I am, you can add, there's a floor wax that I coat these with before putting the automotive clear on, and you can put that floor wax clear in, like if you poke a hole or break one of the spots where the clear lifted up the decals on the Lionel cars, you can add a little bit of the floor wax to it, and it will work its way in and kind of solve that issue. Oh, what is that? There's something underneath this decal. There's like a rock underneath this decal. I've never seen that one before. That's fun. Now there's a little hair under there, under the decal. You do not want those because you can't get them out. You know what? It's in the clear. Well, not much you could do about that at this point. Alright. That looks pretty good. Is there that much space between the hood? Yeah, I guess there was. See all that space between the hood pins and the sponsor? No, it's not a mini hair. It's, I don't know what kind of hair it is. But it's annoying, and it is what it is. So yeah, looks pretty good. For stuff like this, I'll just make sure that we're kind of in the ballpark for the decal being straight. Which it is. So, that looks pretty good. Get rid of those. Same thing with the roof numbers. Should I watch the stream on my phone just to give myself another viewer? That'd be funny. Nah, I'm not really chasing viewers. Oh yeah. Come down just a hair. Just a hair. That's poor choice of words. I don't know if you guys can see the roof flap lines. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it right there. Yeah. I don't know. It's a fun hobby. There are days where I want to put my head through a wall when the decals won't fit right, or you'll get really complex geometries of decals and you'll have to curve them around stuff. Like this car, this red that's on the nose, I tried, it was supposed to be a decal, and just the way that it contours, like it's sloped but also curved around the nose and then it comes straight down, like it was almost impossible to make it a decal. So I tried and failed, so I just had to paint it with a red, and it's pretty close to this red. I mean, I'm colorblind, so you know, it is what it is, but yeah. So yeah, I do have a decent amount of patience. That is a correct statement. You're watching on the way home. Good. Well, I'm glad you could join. But in case you ever wonder what I do, this is it. Not the most exciting thing. Actually, I might run upstairs and get my other laptop so I can have the reference pictures open. Be right back. thought I could get away with not having the reference pictures open, but I was wrong. Please bear with me as I get my other laptop going. Do 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 do. Okay. All right, see. Now we're talking. Now I can see what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, that's much better. Because messing with this little one in the corner just was not a good option. Alright. You know what, the one thing, well, that's okay. The one thing I didn't do for this decal set was do the side skirt rivets. So, these side skirts that they add onto the car, they rivet them on, so you can kind of see, yeah, those little black dots. So on some of the cars I add them, like this one. For this truck I decided not to add them. I don't know why. Probably because I didn't for the other 4 cars, or the other 3 cars that I designed for him. So that's okay. It still looks pretty good. Ooh, a little bit of a stream lag there. I don't know if you guys saw that, or if that. And also, I don't know if it like speeds up for you guys like it does for me. That was really weird. Some contingency decals. I will say it's nice to have a race car with a lot of contingency decals on it. Yes, Lila is sleeping. Yes, she is. The Cup Series cars don't run contingency decals anymore, and it's kind of annoying. The Truck Series still does, obviously, as you can tell here. The Xfinity does a little bit. I mean, this car was from 2024. They have a few contingency decals underneath the 8-post, but not a ton. I don't know. It just adds something to the cars. They look more like race cars in my mind, and I guess in a lot of people's minds too, I suppose. Just having it, and it also kind of like, I mean, it gives credit to all of the smaller manufacturers of whatever part it is on the car. I don't know, NASCAR, they make some decisions that, I don't know. I don't want to turn this into me complaining about NASCAR stream, because we could do it. There's a lot to complain about, but I'd rather not. What music do we have now? Oh, it's still Illuminations. We still got 12 minutes. Honestly, I think I might just put it on. Oh well. We'll just run it back. Okay. So see, this NASCAR truck decal is struggling to... Who is the diecast for, and when was it raced? Also, who do you get to print your decals? Nice, just joined, first time. Well, thank you for joining, first of all. Appreciate you being here. This truck is for Jason Alexander. He is an ARCA driver, but he had a one-off truck race last year in 2024. And I met him at Michigan, and I had made some cars for another driver, and he asked me if I could make him some for him. So I said, sure, reach out to me, and it took him a while, but he did, and so I'm making this one, and then 3 of his ARCA cars. But this was from 2024. I think he raced it at Milwaukee. And there's a company, I want to say they're in Georgia maybe, that prints the decal. So I did all the, I guess, design work for this one. He was able to provide me with artwork from the team. Not for this one specifically, but for his ARCA cars. He provided the artwork, and then I basically take it and turn it into a sheet for the decals, and then I'm able to have them printed. I want to say, what's the name of it? Printed Decals, I think is the name of it. And I mean, they're beautiful sheets. I mean, you can see the quality, the crispness of the decals. They're water slide, so I'm dipping them in water, and then the backing comes off of them. But yeah, they're really good quality decals. And I've been decaling cars since, like, oh boy, 2011, I think, 2012. So yeah. I hope that answered your questions. Steven City Chevy Fusion. City Chevy Fusion. So I know the City Chevy, which is your logo, I see, was raced in NASCAR with Hendrick Motorsports, but the Fusion thing, I wonder if that's like the Ford Fusion, or Fusion as in fusing two things together, like nuclear fusion or fission. But yeah, some of these decals I had to design by myself. Like I couldn't, they didn't have them. So like this HD5 decal on the B post, I don't even know if you guys can see that. That's pretty small. That top one, there was no decal available for it, so I kind of had to design it myself. I was gonna say it looked like Milwaukee in the picture. Yeah, I've used printed too before. Okay, yeah, definitely Milwaukee, and printed makes some nice decals. Do you do Fusion? Is another reference. Okay. Do you do mostly 124s or 164s? Or do you kind of do a combination of both? Looking back at this, I probably should have done some side skirt rivets, because the way that the truck series diecast are is they don't have like a mold line for the side skirts like the Xfinity cars do. So it just kind of looks strange to me that it's just like blank space underneath it. I mean, there's kind of a mold line. 124. Never tried 164. Yeah, I've made a lot of 164s. That's how I got started. Back in 2011 was all 164s, and I do some on occasion, like this one. This one was for Murph Turn, got another creator on YouTube. He wanted a big car and 2 little cars, so I made him 2 small cars, and I'm almost done with his 124. How many cars have I done? Oh, jeez. I have no idea, honestly. I don't think it's in the thousands, but definitely multiple hundreds for sure. Yeah, I don't think I could give you a number. It's multiple hundreds. For my 2007 164 collection, I probably have done over 50. No, over 100. I've probably done over 100 just for my personal collection, and then I've made a friend of mine basically every car that I've made myself. So, yeah, the We Speak Fish car. Yeah, that was way back. The Taco Bell car was the first car I ever made, 2011. Oh, was it David Gilliland or David Reagan? It was one of the Davids for Front Row Motorsports, and it was the Taco Bell car. And that was the first one I ever did. But I made my dad the We Speak Fish car. Funny story behind that one. So every year we would go to Michigan for the race, and he, for some reason, again, I don't remember if that was, I think that one was David Gilliland, but it might have been David Reagan. I don't remember. It had to be 2011 or maybe 2012, but he had an issue very early on in the race and pitted like every single time there was a caution and a ton under green. And we were right at the exit of pit road. So every time that car would go by, my dad would hit me on the arm and be like, "We Speak Fish, there he goes." Because that was what was on the big quarter panel of the car, was We Speak Fish. So it was pretty funny. And I made him that car for his birthday one year. I think it was the 38 car. 38 Front Row Motorsports We Speak Fish Long John Silvers. So yeah, that one was a fun one to make. Also an all white car with a little bit of design on it. So yeah, it had like blue, and I think that one had blue something on it. Stripes or swipes or something. So like this map retirement decal I had to completely design by myself because there was no reference images or anything that I could use for it. Are you guys enjoying the stream? Are you having fun watching me do my very boring hobby? Looks great when it's done. But yeah, this is for Jason Alexander. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll hold it up to the camera here in a second. I probably shouldn't put this one on until later because that's how I'm holding the car, but yeah, Jason Alexander. He was nice when I met him. I don't really know much about him other than he wanted some of his cars and trucks made. So I think I only met him that one time. But he's a nice guy. Nice kid. He's like, I want to say he's like 22 or 23. So yeah. There it is. So, order of operations here, we're going to have to put the fuel inlet in first because the real car, I tried to get the decals to be exactly like what raced on track. Every time I do that, I tried for the most amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Authenticity. All of my customs are Darrell Waltrip and Ross Chastain that weren't produced just for myself. Never so hard to let. Yeah, I definitely get that. I also, I have collected a decent amount of Ross cars. Well, I take that back. I have every Win car or truck that Ross has ever had in the Cup, Xfinity, or Truck Series. A lot of work into them. Yeah, I definitely hear you. And I mean, you could see I've been live for over almost an hour and a half at this point, and I'm like halfway done with this truck. so yeah, I totally get it. How many cars do you have in your collection? Is it I mean, you said Darrell Waltrip and Ross Chastain, so do you collect any other drivers, or are those just the main two? Because pretty much all of my collection is Jeff Gordon cars, and then I've been collecting William Byron since he stepped into the 24, and also Ross Chastain cars, because when my sister and I went to Daytona in 2019, we were going through the Xfinity garage because we had hot passes through Lionel, and Ross just came up and started talking to us. He's like, "Hey, whose car are you looking for?" And at the time we were looking for John Hunter Nemechek's. So we're like, "Oh, we're looking for John Hunter's," and he's like, "Well, why don't you come look at my car?" And at that point, like, we didn't really know who Ross Chastain was. And he's like, "Come check out my car. It's right over here." So it was pretty neat. He's a pretty personable guy. I don't know if you've ever got to meet him or not, but Ross is great. He's a class act, kind of like Carl Edwards. Carl, from my few interactions, like in proximity to him, seemed like a great guy. Now, obviously, I don't know everything about all the drivers, but he seemed pretty cool when we got to see him. There was a lady that she wasn't yelling for him, but she was a really big Carl Edwards fan at Talladega in 2015, and she was like, Carl, come over here, just kind of like not bugging him, but trying to get his attention. And this was before the race at driver intros, right before, so all the drivers were behind the stage, kind of just waiting to go out, and I don't remember who he was having a conversation with, but he stopped that conversation to go have a word, just to talk to this lady, and I think he took a picture with her or whatever. But NASCAR, sports in general, like professional sports, I get why they play, like to make money and because they want to play the game, whatever, but at that level it's ultimately about the fans. And so if you're not treating the fans well, like, I don't know, why are you doing it? I guess for money, for fame. Like, if nobody showed up to the track on the weekend, there wouldn't be a whole lot of racing. Wouldn't really be a whole lot of NASCAR. Like, if nobody showed up to baseball stadiums or stuff, like, the money would dry up and they wouldn't do it. So Ross was one of the cool guys. Just them. I was huge from 1990. I was young. Yeah, for a while, but no one grabbed my attention. Yeah, Michael Waltrip Racing was a weird thing. Like, they had some pretty decent drivers. Like Michael Waltrip, he wasn't a great driver, but he was good. He was solid. And David Rudiman looked like he could be really good. I want to say, what was it, 2009 or 2000? Yeah, he won the 600 in 09, I think. I know it was rain shortened, but then he came back in 2010. He's gonna be doing some 3D printing. Yeah, I just bought a 3D printer, another one. So yeah, I do 3D printing. So to your point, this car here, this was run on a super speedway, so I 3D printed the splitter. It's kind of hard to see, but for the Xfinity cars, they ran a larger splitter and a spoiler. So I ground off the spoiler off of this car and 3D printed this one to put on here. It's skinnier and a little bit taller. But yeah, get into it. Don't wait. I was waiting forever to see if I wanted to stream or do this, and I finally just did it, and now you guys are here interacting, so it's cool. I mean, it's fun. But yeah, Rudiman, he was. I thought he would do well, and he kind of did for a little bit, but he fell off, and then they brought in Truex, and I mean, I feel like Truex, he got the resources at MWR, but I don't know, it just never seemed to really work. Same thing with Clint Boyer. Like, they're decent drivers, but they're not great. I mean, well, Truex is pretty good. He won the whole thing in 2017, but yeah, Michael Waltrip Racing was an interesting story. My dad always liked them because they were the Napa sponsored cars after DEI, like the Waltrip days. So my order of operation here was wrong. So we'll just pop that off real quick. In a sense, I kind of feel like Bob Ross. Nowhere near as talented as Bob Ross, but it's kind of funny. Just doing my hobbies, talking. Haven't felt a connection to anyone like I did on the daily. We're over 10 years apart. I have a lot in common. Yeah, Ross is cool. I like Ross. Like I said, we met him in person a couple times, and he's a very personable guy, and ever since he got into it with a bunch of the Chevy drivers and HMS basically, who pretty much runs Chevy in NASCAR, told Ross to cool it. He hasn't really been the same driver, which has been disappointing. But I heard recently that Dodge is looking to be that next manufacturer that hops back in, and I want to say in the Truck Series next year is when they're looking to get back in. So that would lead me to believe that in a few years Dodge will be looking to get into the Cup Series, and Bob Ross, and I'm thinking Trackhouse might jump ship from Chevy and go into a technical alliance with Dodge and run those cars, whatever they are. And so hopefully the reins get let off of Ross, because I think whatever Chevy said to him has really been hampering his on-track performance, which has been disappointing, because he's one of the most exciting drivers to watch, because he doesn't care. He'll just kind of wheel it and rough some people up, which is fun. But yeah, Dale Jr. Download's a pretty good podcast. I mean, they obviously have their stuff together. But yeah, Ross is another class act, at least for the few times that I've interacted with him. I would like to see him get to victory lane more this year, but time will tell. Time will tell. Collect all Trackhouse wins, but Ross is my favorite too. Heck yeah, represent for the Ross. How interested, excited you are about? I am excited about Dodge coming back. I don't know about a fit though. I am. A lot of rumors about Honda. True. There it seems like forever there have been Honda rumors swirling about. Now, I'm nowhere on the inside, so any and all information I have is just like outside information. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to have Dodge back. I like that. I could see Trackhouse jumping ship and going to Dodge. They would be like a number one for me. I thought it was interesting that Pitbull left Trackhouse. But yeah, I think if any team were to jump ship, it would be Trackhouse to go to Dodge. And then who knows about Honda. But Nashville, and the only time I've met him was when we decided to crash a post-race party at Tootsie's in Nashville after he won there in 22. Most of the team was there. That must have been a fun time. I've heard that a lot. He just seems to get it. Yeah, he does. I don't know if it's because of the watermelon farmer background, but I think he just understands. And also, like, the years and years of him struggling to get into NASCAR, into a top-tier ride. Look at that. So, that's wrong. But yeah, he definitely has a very personable demeanor, and I think that's a big part of why NASCAR has had somewhat of a downturn in the last like 10 to 15 years. It's just something about the drivers. Like back in the day, I don't know, I started watching in the early 2000s. So you had drivers like Jimmy Spencer was kind of on his way out, but he was Mr. Excitement. So you had him, you had Kurt Busch, who was a maniac. Kurt Busch was a wild one. That like Jeff Gordon was always kind of vanilla. Tony Stewart was a hothead, but he was right about a lot of stuff. So I messed up this decal, the spacing of it a little bit, so I got to do a little bit of an adjustment. But I think it was a combination of Hendrick talking to him and other teams catching up. Yeah, the catching up thing I definitely do think happened for a lot of the other teams. I think Trackhouse was ahead of it. I'm interested to see what happens with Daniel Suarez. I don't know if he stays around. I don't know if Trackhouse keeps him around for too much longer. I don't know what the contract situation looks like and any of that. But, I mean, I want to say the only win he's had so far, the only two were it was Sonoma, which is good. Sonoma's a good win, a difficult win. And then Atlanta, that crazy finish at Atlanta last year. So, like, I don't know how long Suarez hangs around there, because I want to say, isn't Zilich a Chevy development driver? Like, I feel like Zilich is going to be coming up through the ranks. I mean, he's already in Xfinity, right? So, I don't want to say Suarez's days are numbered there, but, like, I don't know. He's never really... He did okay at Gibbs. He wasn't, like, lighting the world on fire or anything like that. I think he was in the 19 for a couple of years. There's like a what would you say, 20, when Gordon retired in 2015, my interest waned in NASCAR quite a bit, so I have a little bit of a gap in like knowledge for a few years. But yeah, so interesting thing about this car, or this truck. This decal's fighting me. I thought it was going to be simple. I was wrong. Either that or you guys are distracting me and I'm not doing what I'm good at, focusing. Sorry, my head was in the way there. But yeah, you get that with Darrell Waltrip retiring. It's just when Gordon retired, I'd followed him for so long, and like Hendrick Motorsports and all that. it was hard to get back into it. Nothing against William Byron at the time, but like, actually it was Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott took over the 24 first. And I don't know. Chase is an interesting character. I mean, William Byron doesn't have a ton of personality, I guess, either. None of the Hendrick Motorsports drivers ever really did. I noticed that. Like, when Dale Jr. came to HMS in 08, he brought, like, the most personality. But, yeah. Jimmy Johnson was always very vanilla. Jeff Gordon... Yeah, Jeff Gordon was pretty vanilla. I liked Mark Martin when he came over to Hendrick Motorsports. Casey Kane. So, they've had quite the driver lineup. But I kind of like where they're at now. I like Larson. He's alright. Byron's good. How many wins do you think Trackhouse will have this year? I'm thinking... I think SVG gets at least one road course win. I'm thinking he does win on a road course. I think Ross will probably get one or two. Yeah, it's a Hendrick prerequisite to be boring. Yeah. Yeah, like Bowman, Byron, Chase, Kyle. Like, I don't know. There's just there's something about them that's they're very vanilla. But yeah, I definitely think not many. Hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I think SVG definitely wins on one of the road courses. 2 max. Yeah. See, the thing is, I've been trying to cut back on buying diecasts, and Ross has consistently won every year. So I'm like, well, I gotta buy his race wins. I don't have to, but you know the life of a collector. Once you have one, you gotta get the rest of them. But I'm still waiting on his truck win that he won at Darlington last year, and Lionel's very slow with producing like the second and third series. They'll get the Cup diecast out relatively quickly, but when it comes to like trucks and Xfinity, they take their time with those. I can't believe it's taking me this long to make this truck. We're gonna have to speed this process up. Gotta go to bed soon. Start putting a bunch of them in the water. Can't be waiting. One thing I think NASCAR, I don't think it's gonna help them, at least I don't think, is putting a lot of stuff on streaming services exclusive. I get they're trying to like chase that younger demographic, and more than likely the younger people are going to have those streaming services. Oh yeah, Busch Light. They had like a new paint scheme almost every week, and they knocked them out of the park too. Like, they had a lot of really good paint schemes. Yeah, it is a good problem to have, winning. Also, one thing about Ross's cars is he has pretty good variety in the paint schemes that he's won in. 2023, yeah, 2023 when he won at Phoenix and Nashville, those were the only 2 paint schemes that he ever had that were the same that he won in. All the other ones were different, like the DC Solar, the True North, the Acrolite, Car Shield, Ellsworth, iFly, then the Moose, and then he had those 2 Worldwide Express wins. But then last year he won in the Kubota car. So that's one thing I like about it, is the variety. So the collection looks pretty cool, looks pretty different. aside from that, this decal being a little bit off from sizing, which when I cut that and moved it down, it looks a lot better. Aside from that, though, the rest of them have been spot on, which is nice. I still got to get used to like angling the car up towards the camera. I'm not good at that. Also, NASCAR getting rid of rookie stripes is just like another dumb decision that makes no sense. Like, I get it. It's, yeah, okay, it's the top tier of motorsports and everybody should be a pretty good driver, but it's one of those traditions that's not hurting anybody, so why get rid of it? I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. They make a lot of really strange decisions, and that one was definitely one that took me by surprise. Like, why would you get rid of that, of all things? Like, get rid of the underwing underneath the car that's flipping cars over. I had to make his... Yeah, that one I haven't got around to yet. I have an open space... I have an open space in my display case for that one. Eventually I'll get around to making that, but I have yet to do so. Now, did you get your decals from Pados when you did that one, or did you custom make yours? Because I think I saw Pados has them, but sometimes they don't fit right, and sometimes only race one if it's not. Yep, it was the only race one if it's not produced. That is absolutely true. I was thinking about making those decals myself, but I got a lot of other things going on right now, so I haven't done that quite yet. Pados. I used to buy a lot from them, and they're pretty good quality. It's just when he started doing the full wraps and having like all of the, I don't even know what you would call them, like the hood lines and the roof flap lines and all that stuff, they never matched up with the die cast, and I just couldn't bring myself to put those decals on the cars and not have them match up. I don't know if I have OCD or what, but I haven't bought anything from him in quite some time, especially now that Printit's been such a... Like, I love it. I love having a decal supplier in the States. And good quality, too. So, yeah, but Pados, he was good to work with, like when you would remove a background color or whatever. It was just really hard to... For me, personally, it was just really hard to put those decals on the die cast and not have the lines match up. But they are good. They're pretty good quality if you can get past that not lining up. So do you made some body damage mods, windshield and tires off of John Harney truck with too much work? Yeah, it is a lot of work. Like, the designing part of it takes just as much time to put them on the car. I mean, it is satisfying. It's a rewarding process to know that, like, you put all the work in, but it's almost like a full-time job. True. Yeah, there were multiple. And that's what I was... Because, like, some of... It had, like, some decals for other trucks, and... Yeah. I typically try to produce the decals like Lionel would produce them, with, like, the most simple amount of decals on the car. Because Lionel doesn't really add all the extra lines and stuff. for a non-raced version. Obviously, for a raced version, they add all that and rivets and all that stuff, grill tape. But like for something like this truck, you know, I'm just doing the basic, pretty much what Lionel would produce. You know, simple version. It's not that I don't like a lot of detail. They are a little, yeah, that's true too. They are a little thick, so getting them to contour around body lines and stuff like that is a little frustrating sometimes. Do you use a decal softener like this? Print It had this. I don't know if you use something like that too. I don't know how it would do with pados. I think I got the Justin Marks Mid-Ohio sheet too for some reason. Can't remember. Justin Marks Mid-Ohio. That's a rare one. How many wins does Justin Marks have? It can't be many. I don't really know. Oh, come on, we're reaching the home stretch. Also, something that's interesting about solve set stuff. Okay, works pretty good for you. I mean, this stuff works pretty good for me. I mean, it really softens them, so it can be bad if you stretch the decals out, or you know, well, you get it. But yeah, it definitely helps them stick and move around the areas. But again, I think getting rid of the rookie stripes was a dumb idea. NASCAR. Oh, Justin Marks won in the truck? Didn't he win at Mid-Ohio in the Xfinity series? That might have been a different year. I thought he probably also did. Ah, the rookie stripes. Love good rookie stripes. Okay, so that one. Getting down to it. Sorry, I'm focusing a lot. I appreciate you joining. Somebody to talk to. Do you like this stream? I'm still new to this. I'm still learning some things. Still trying to figure out audio and kind of how the video system works. And I mean, I learned how to put some overlays, like the picture of the truck up there and down here. What car took the longest to make? Oh, jeez. I don't know. I've had there have been cars that have been like what are we at? We're at 2 hours now. This one's a relatively simple one. There are definitely cars that I've had take like multiple days. I've you know, some will be a full wrap and then you gotta apply a full decal over top of that wrap, and I mean, I don't know. I couldn't give you an exact number, but there have been cars that have taken me a good long while. Didn't win in the truck, just raced. The decal says available. I got to pair with something on the chest unit. I think the blue. Oh yeah, version S back cover decals. Yeah, that was one thing. That's one thing about Patos that kind of drives me nuts, is sometimes the attention to detail isn't there, and there will be like you said, there's a bed cover, the bed decals are different than what they should be, or you know, there's like 10 versions of the same thing. Yeah, it must have been around then. Oh, how long did your dad's take to make? Oh boy, I don't remember. I remember making it, but I don't remember how long it took. Probably similar to this, a couple hours. We're just about at the 2-hour mark. Your dad's was a little bit different because it was a late model, so the body style was slightly different, obviously, than a truck or a car or whatever. But the decals fit really nicely onto that one, so I don't think it took that long. Also, there weren't a ton of decals on it. Like, honestly, there's really not a lot of decals on this truck. Part of why it's taking me so long is because I'm trying to get used to interacting with you guys, and also like having it be focused in the middle of the camera. So that is kind of slowing my progress down a little bit. But yeah, it is kind of nice to just work on something, sit down and get some things done. But yeah, I do want to say Justin Marks' only win probably was the Xfinity win. I think you're right, Steven. Which, I've been to Mid-Ohio a couple times. I know you said you're from Nashville. Mid-Ohio is a pretty cool place. It's obviously a road course, so you can't see around the whole track. But you're able to kind of go into the infield and then walk around and pick different spots of the track you want to look and want to sit. This team was just me and our friend Brad. All those decals were placed by... Good. Well, I'm glad he loves his diecast. You should tell him that he needs to race some more. I have a few pics. Yeah, I am on Twitter. If it's the same as my YouTube, diecast driven. I don't really tweet a lot. I'm actually pretty bad at that. Sometimes I post my videos. Most of the times I don't, because I'm not good at posting on there. But yeah, if you wanna find me on Twitter, I'll take a look, check them out. But yeah, Emily, your dad's car was really cool, the late model. Tell him to get that thing back out so you can drive it. Well, now you hurt your shoulder, so you can't drive it. What are you doing? You can't hurt your shoulder and then want to go drive a race car. What the heck? What? Motors are expensive, so probably... Yeah, they are. Don't blow those up. Motors are not cheap. Mom won't let you drive. Yeah, that's another thing too, is it's kind of dangerous. Racing is... You kind of got to be a little bit crazy to race. It's just how it is. I'll be your race engineer. I don't know what kind of engineering goes on down at the dirt level, but we can figure it out. We are almost done, folks. Just followed. Scroll through my photos for a while. Let's see some. All right, cool, Steven. Yeah, I'll check them out. I definitely, I love seeing customs. I mean, I've been doing this since 2011. I started working on 164s, and I will get into the habit of doom scrolling on social media when people post customs. So there's a chance that I may have come across yours at some point, but I'm not really sure. But I'll absolutely check it out after the stream. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you enjoy the stream. I mean, it's NASCAR, and specifically the diecast and like the custom side of things, is a very niche thing. Like, not a lot of people do it, so it's just cool to connect with other people that do this. I know I don't really know other people that do this. I mean, there are other ones out there, but I don't interact with them. Or, I mean, this is our conversation tonight has been the most interaction I've had with somebody else that does this sort of thing. So yeah, it's been fun. I appreciate you being here. It's pretty neat to have somebody else that shares the passion. A lot of people share the passion of just collecting the diecast, but people that make their own for their collections or for other people is pretty few and far between. But yeah, I appreciate you being here. This has been fun. And like I said, I'm still trying to figure this whole streaming thing out, so this is only the second time I've done this, and every time I work on cars I kind of plan to do this, and I have a ton to work on, so the only thing is, like, I don't have a set schedule. I made a custom case for the Lionel Nashville Race 1 cars from 23. When you say cars, did you collect all the special finishes? Is that what you mean by cars? That would be my guess. If you did, like, I don't even know what they made for that car. Probably color chrome. Liquid color, maybe. Did they do a raw version for that car? I'm not sure. Obviously the standard Elite. Galaxy, maybe it was another. I only ever collect the standard paint schemes. Although, I'll show you guys this in a minute. I am making a couple cars for Cody Dennison and their chrome, and I love the chrome cars. 3 different finishes. Okay. Yeah, I'll show you guys the chrome cars that I'm going to be working on here in a second. Well, actually, one's a truck. But yeah, like, this truck here would be a perfect chrome candidate because it's a very simple design. There's no... It's just all white. There's no design on it or anything like that. And... so basically everywhere that you see white on this car would be chrome. Oh no. And that would be sweet. Slight hiccup. Not too bad. Dual auto, liquid color, and Galaxy. Didn't get the color chrome though. Did they sign it in a blue pen to match the base color of the car? Because I know everybody on Lionel is constantly, like, bugging out about what color their autographs are in. Obviously, you said you were at that race, so that has some sentimental value to it, which is cool. That always makes it more special. Well, we're almost at the end here. It's kind of crazy. It's gone by pretty quick. Whoops. Oh yeah, and I'm still getting used to this spacing with my camera and how it's set up on my desk. I don't really, I'm not used to having it there, so I'm having to like reach around things. And silver, neon blue would have been awesome. Silver probably does look really cool, but yeah, the neon blue. Some of the people on the Lionel forum will show like their autographs, and they'll like the neon pinks and neons blues and reds and yellows and stuff always look really cool on the cars. I don't really focus on autographed cars. The only autographed cars I have are that I intentionally buy autographed are the Jeff Gordon throwbacks that William Byron runs. So I buy the dual autographed from Jeff and Byron, and those are the only ones that I have. And the autographs typically look pretty good on those. But it's got to get tiring after signing like hundreds of cars. I can't imagine your wrist would feel too good after doing that for like an hour. But for tonight, I think I'm gonna, after I get these last two decals on, I'm gonna call it. I'm not gonna do the spoiler decals and other ones. I think I'm just gonna let those ride for tonight. I'll get back to them another day, maybe tomorrow. But that's not something that's that interesting. See this rear tail light kind of bunched up in the corner. I don't like the way that it's sitting. So I'm going to peel it up, add a little bit of water to it. See, this one's been sitting for probably not even an hour and it's already stuck down. So I might just leave it instead of trying to mess it up. Because I only have one of these sets. Actually, that's not true. I have two of them. But I do want to make two trucks. I don't want to reuse or use one decal from another set. Alright, the last one. It's Ford license plate on the back. It's a kind of neat thing. Like, I don't really care too much for Fords, but it's a cool thing that they put this license plate on the cars. And obviously, me being from Ohio, the whole Ohio-Michigan thing, I don't really care about that because I don't like football, but it's kind of funny. Yep. So we're good. So that will conclude this evening's decaling session. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe not. Boo. Moved a little bit. There we go. Looks good. So yeah, that is it. And I honestly, I love this truck because it's pretty simple. It's a straightforward set. Not a whole lot going on with it. Here, we'll get rid of these real quick. And then we'll bring it on up. So, aside from painting these hood pins silver, we can, let's do this. Make this a little bit bigger. Plop it in the middle. I mean, it's pretty good. Pretty good looking truck, if I do say so myself. I got a few more decals. Oh, Easy T. Yeah, hey, thanks for joining. I'm glad you could be here. Yeah, I plan on doing these all the time. I have plenty of cars to work on, cars and trucks and stuff. Before I go, let me go get the chrome cars that I'm working on. But these two are cool. So, but yeah, the thing is, whenever I find time to do them is when I'll stream these. But I intend on streaming whenever I find time to decal. So here's the chrome one. You can see the wall in the background and the light. This truck's going to be for Cody Dennison. He's making a start at Martinsville this year. But yeah, there's my phone. So yeah, chrome truck for his Martinsville start, and then chrome car for his Daytona start that he wadded up in the field. They took out a lot of cars. But yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping in. We successfully decaled the 21 truck for Jason Alexander in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So not too bad. Got a few more decals to add here and there. Spoiler, windshield, paint some stuff. But when I get this one done, eventually there will be a video out on the channel showcasing this one, just like I do for my other videos, if you guys have seen them. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here, and yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. And I don't know when the next time I'll be streaming is, whenever I find time, but you know, leave your feedback. The only thing, the interesting thing is, yeah, of course, I'm glad to have you guys here. It's a little step into my world, but until I get, I think it's 1,000 subscribers, the streams don't go public. So, you know, once the stream ends here, you can't go back and rewatch it until, if you wanted to, until I get to 1,000 subscribers. So, yeah, if you ever see me live or whatever, hop into the chat and we could talk about diecast. We could talk about the race, whatever you guys want to talk about. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys being here, and I don't know when the next time I'll see you guys will be, but I hope you have a good evening, and we'll talk to you later. Enjoy Atlanta this weekend. It's a drafting track. I don't love it, but we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining, everybody. Diecast Driven. Bye.